Hey folks, this is Anupam back again. Today I'm going to talk about how to get my SAP data to AWS S3 bucket with some security inbuilt. So I think we have talked earlier how to secure our data both for authentication and authorization with Azure. Some of the users they reached out for AWS, and I thought we'll set up a guide to take them through the steps. All right, let's get going. So AWS S3 gives a few options. We have been working for a few months on those options. The ones which probably AWS SIG 4 is the latest one. Not everyone has implemented. Right now, what we are supporting is pre-signed URLs. That's pretty straightforward to set up. We provide all the coding for SAP to AWS setup for signing up URLs and also the VPC endpoints. That's limited to those who have their SAP and their S3 on the same AWS VPC. Those who want to use it, the good thing is with VPC, your latency is much lower and it's private access, whereas with pre-signed URLs, you can be having your SAP and AWS tenant sitting anywhere you want to. All right, so a few steps which need to be done. This is your SAP setup. You will be setting up the destination for AWS on SM59. And the next one is cloud setup, which is your AWS bucket. Essentially, you'll block the public access on it and then allow only traffic from the authenticated users or the URLs. Now, how do we get this data going? Let's run through a scenario. So let's say on my SAP, I'll run the same MB51 report again. And select the USB 41 SAP as the user. The program, as you see, is RM07 doc. And when I run this, I get this set of output. Now our role is to go ahead and pull this data directly to my AWS S3, right? So quickly, I'll today walk you through the pre-signed URL mechanism. You can use Postman or any of your tools. It could be BTP if you have something set up on AWS, which can call a REST API or even a Python code. This would go ahead. Here you're specifying the parameters for the REST API. You're using a post command and the object is RM07 docs, the report name, and with the variant. Now here's where you are telling that I need to send it to this folder. This folder must be created on or mapped to as an NFS drive onto your SAP. And if I go here, I will be able to see this folder. S3. So it has an outbox where anything which needs to go to my AWS will be kept. And then there's an archive folder. Right now, I don't have anything in my outbox. And on my archive folder, I probably have some previously transmitted files. So this is the folder which we are asking it to do, to send to on from the SAP, and from this folder, uh, set of code will pick it up and send it to S3 along with the pre-signed URL. So when I press this, it has gone in and generated the file. If I go to my outbox, you see this file is created. Now what happens in the background once this file is created, there is a script which keeps running and looks for all the files um, which have been created on this particular folder, and will go ahead and pick it up and send it out to S3. So 57, it is set up to run every minute. So it will probably take a minute. Let's see once the file disappears. Yeah, one data file has disappeared from here. And if I go to my archive folder, this file has been placed here. So where did the file go? If I now go to my S3 bucket, this file has been generated on the S3 bucket at 1758. It has all the content from SAP data, right? So this data now is available on my AWS S3 bucket to be processed either for a report or AI or BI kind of task. And the same thing can be done with the tables, etc. Now let me just show you how this file is moving. AWS gives a pretty straightforward implementation of pre-signed URLs. So these are the configuration parameters. If you go to this config directory, basically it is asking us to pick whatever is there in this directory, source directory, and archive to this directory. The key here is to have your access key and secret key either passed or stored in this configuration file. Rest of the parameters, where should the messages be logged, what's your data lake, what's the bucket name and the folder path, region, how much time it should take for expiry, and how frequently this job should run. So right now we have set it up for 1 minute. So based on this, it will go run, and all of these messages then are logged. You see this file was transmitted to S3, and then it will, just keep on running as a daemon. All right. So what did we do? We picked up a SAP report, put the data onto S3 along with pre-signing the URL so that S3 can authenticate who's sending this data. I hope you find this useful.